No spring DIY project is complete without a cleanup plan. Now, whether you're tackling a garage overhaul, prepping before painting, cleaning up the workshop, or getting the deck and patio ready for warmer days, Simple Green All-Purpose Cleaner has you covered. This powerhouse cuts through dirt, oil, grease, and grime, and it's US EPA Safer Choice certified. Strong enough for your toughest cleaning jobs, safer for your home. One cleaner for every project. Visit simplegreen.com.
Emotionally unavailable.
Okay, welcome, Julia. Hi, welcome back to Emotionally Unavailable. I'm your host, Malisa Hepner. Okay, Julia, how do you say your last name?
Trehane.
Okay. See, I should have known that you were not in Oklahoma or anywhere near me because I've never heard this last name before. And the way you're saying it sounds so English.
It's actually a Cornish name.
In this way, I'm so uncultured. It's ridiculous.
Well, if you asked me to give you 3 facts about Oklahoma, I would literally fail on the first one. So,
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. I'm glad to know that. Because to me, it's like, oh, well, you know that we have super bad tornadoes here, right? But if you don't even know
okay.
that, I don't feel bad about
No.
not knowing about anything UK related. Well, just so you know, we are called Tornado Alley because we get very bad tornadoes.
Okay.
Yeah. And I grew up in the city that for a long time was the magnet for tornadoes. So, okay. Okay, so I want to be honest, literally just Googled what orthorexia is right before we started because I was like, I could ask, but then maybe that's something I should know before we start. So I'm so excited about this conversation. So you work in the eating disorder recovery space. You're a coach, podcast host, you have an inner circle. You're really passionate about this, which
Very.
you might be my first guest on this topic.
Awesome.
I really think you might be. So probably because I didn't like the way other people posed the information, and I am really careful. I don't have anyone on that is in the weight loss space. I'm there's enough of that out there. I'm so careful because of my own history with disordered eating. I don't know that I've ever had a full-blown eating disorder, but I have certainly eaten in a disordered manner, well, most of my life, truly. That's why my weight so fluctuates, because it's the only way I can lose weight is to be really extreme about it. Anyway, so I am the reason I was so interested in meeting you is because maybe I'm wrong, maybe I misunderstood this, but you're in recovery from this yourself, yes?
I have recovered. A lot of people don't believe you can fully recover from an eating disorder.
Oh, really? So kind of like alcoholism and stuff, they say.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I don't buy into that. So I truly believe I am fully recovered.
I love that. Okay, great. Truth be told, I believe that too. About even the substances. I'm not of the mindset that you have to say, I'm an alcoholic for the rest of your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sue me. So, okay. One of the things that really drew me to your stuff was that you were saying about, in essence, all of the things underneath why this is the thing that you chose to do to numb, escape, avoid, whatever, which I'm so happy in general because I do feel like this is becoming a bigger part of the conversation in addiction or, whatever, whatever pocket you want to put it in. In general, I do think that people are starting to understand that's a symptom of the problem, not the problem. And that this is just the avenue. And so what is your backstory? What did your life start like?
Okay. Do you want full version or in brief?
However you feel led to say it, man. I'm here for whatever you want.
Okay. So you're absolutely right. The eating disorder for me started at about 8 years old. but it was never, ever about the food.
Mm-hmm.
I was born into a family. I mean, my parents did their best. They really did. I'm not
Sure.
here to shame them or blame them. They were conditioned. They had their own issues. My dad already had a son and he didn't want any more children. My mum did, and she really wanted a daughter. So I was kind of born to please my mum, and that became my role. I was there to please my mum, which I always thought my mum was my best friend for like my whole life. And she always used to tell me I was her rock and I was what got her through everything. And I was her best friend and all the
Mm-hmm.
things. And I mean, that made me feel really great. And as a
Mm-hmm.
little girl, it was wonderful, but it was also a huge amount of pressure.
Yeah.
And so I didn't realize I was allowed to be me. My dad was very emotionally unavailable.
Mm-hmm.
Emotions were not allowed to be shown. I'm assuming it's a lot to do with his upbringing.
Yeah.
I never knew his father. He died when I was tiny, but his mum was very much what people think, how you portray yourself to the world and not actually who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And so I grew up knowing that if I cried, I'd be given something to cry about. I didn't dare be angry. I just didn't really dare be me.
Yeah.
And I realized by sort of like 7-ish that if I could stay out of my dad's way and not be seen, then
Mm.
I wouldn't be in trouble.
You're not allowed to take up space.
No.
Yeah.
And so my child brain was like, how to not be seen? Well, I spent a lot of time hiding in my wardrobe and I set up my own little world inside the wardrobe. But I also realized that not being seen could be more easily achieved by staying very small.
That was a conscious thought.
That was a conscious thought. If I eat less, I can stay small and therefore I'm not seen. So that's what I did. And it wasn't about how people saw me. It wasn't about looking good in my body. It wasn't any of the things people assume, which are very
Right.
rarely right.
Right.
People always assume, or a lot of people assume, that it's all for how you look.
Mm-hmm.
But none of that really even crossed my mind. It was to stay small, to not be seen.
Yeah.
And then when you don't eat a lot, when you restrict your food, it restricts your emotions. You kind of
Yes.
numb out. You don't feel. Now, I felt like I'd hit the jackpot. Not only was I staying small and not being seen, those pesky emotions that would get me into trouble, I'd found a way of stopping them. So I thought I was winning.
You're
It
all
was
malnutritioned. Like, you're not having no fucking energy to give a shit about anything. You're like,
yeah,
yes, my
yeah.
goodness. Wow. Okay.
I thought I didn't need to cry anymore. I didn't need to feel anger. I didn't need to feel anything. I didn't cry from the age of 8 until the age of 48.
Oh my God. Wow. You were really disconnected.
I'm so disconnected.
Yeah.
The anger that I buried at 8 years old, I genuinely thought that I was just a person that never felt angry after that.
Are you an Aquarius?
No, I'm a Pisces.
Oh, sweet little Pisces. Of course. Of course. Um, okay. I just want to know. So you didn't feel agitated at all?
Um, if any feelings came up, if I restricted harder, they would go away again.
Okay. Okay.
Um, Now, I mean, that sounds great, right? That sounds like a really good plan. It's not, because what it's replaced with is, well, not only all the physical things and all the things that go wrong with your body, but it's just replaced with extreme anxiety, with,
Oh, yeah. Yes, because that's what I'll tell you about my shit later, but what I noticed, I mean, even now it's 11:18 and I haven't eaten yet. Hey guys, it's me. Emotionally Unavailable is produced 100% in-house by me with no team. So if this show has ever helped you and you want to give back, subscribe to the Patreon. There's several different levels with different benefits in each. Check the show notes and you can see what each tier subscription will get you. I also plan to there's also lots of fun things coming down the pipeline for the Patreon subscribers. So get in early. You can get a workbook, you can buy merch, you can do any of the things, and all of that supports the show to help it keep going. Really appreciate every single one of you. I love you so much, and I can't wait to see what we continue to do together. So even now, if I go any longer, I'm gonna feel all that and I'll be like real quick to be like, what the hell? Just agitated is the best way, because all that frazzledness. So I'm
yeah.
just picturing a little baby, like
Well,
just
it's
all.
an interesting part. There's genetically, there are some people that are genetically predisposed for anorexia. So
Okay.
I never felt hungry.
Okay.
I lost all hunger signals. I never felt hungry at all. I
Okay.
never got, the only times I knew that I really needed food was when I was passing out.
This makes sense to me, actually. Okay, that I know people like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what
Like
they
they would
tend to,
just say, "I'm not hungry because I'm stressed," and I believe that they are. I do believe, like I have a friend that I'm thinking of in specific, and I do believe at the time that this was a struggle for her, that it was disordered eating, but in her mind, she just wasn't hungry. But there was
yeah.
like a lot of things happening, but I think that was her genetic predisposition. My grandma was like this, which is why she always thought I was fat, because she was never weighed over 90 pounds my entire life. And she was my
Mhm.
primary caregiver. And she didn't feel hunger the way I do, and I feel like I swing the other way. My hormones will make me sit around thinking about food. I have a lot of food noise. You know what I mean? Not as
Yeah.
much now because I'm not on a diet, but like anytime I'm dieting, there's so much food noise. From the time I wake up till the time I go to sleep, food noise.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the same for so many people. But yeah, there is a proportion of society that are genetically predisposed
Yes.
for anorexia, which means that if you go back in the hunter-gatherer days when people had to move to different places to get food,
Mm.
people like me would have fared really, really well because I could go a really long time without food and
Right.
get to the land of plenty. Um,
Yes.
However, in the modern day world, it's not quite so helpful.
So when did physical symptoms of your restriction start showing?
Um, so I knew, and I don't know how I knew, but I knew that I had to hide it.
Mhm.
I knew that I would be in lots and lots of trouble. So I wore lots and lots of layers of clothes, which was quite easy to do because when you're underweight, you're very, very cold.
Yes.
Even in like high summer, you're freezing cold. So I wore lots and lots of layers, and I became very, very good at lying. And because we only ever ate with my parents on a Sunday,
Oh, okay.
we ate separately. Other than that, it was really easy to hide what I
Mm.
was or wasn't eating. And then I did things like becoming vegan, which meant that the
When did that
Sunday,
start?
I think I was about 11 or 12,
Oh, okay.
which meant that the Sunday traditional British roast dinner, which is like roast meat and potatoes and vegetables and gravy and stuffing and that sort of thing, there was very little of it apart from the vegetables I could eat. So I just had the vegetables. Um, and this carried on until I got a new PE teacher at school when I was about 13, 14, who was very, very strict about us wearing like vest tops and those awful gym knicker things that girls
Mm-hmm.
used to have to wear as dead shorts. And I'd always got away with, like for swimming, I used to say I had my period, which I hadn't even got. Um, like I hadn't even started
Mm,
them, but it was a great excuse.
yeah.
And I used to like wear my tracksuit all the time with layers underneath. But this one teacher wasn't taking, I couldn't get away with it. And so when I actually put the PE kit on, it was obvious that I was quite unwell.
Really?
And so they called my parents and kind of, can I swear on this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Please.
The shit hit the fan quite a lot. My parents were also in the process of trying to divorce and sell a house in the middle of a recession. So they were living together but hating each other. Um,
Okay.
so I was forced to, there wasn't really much medical help. There wasn't like the doctors and were like, we'll just eat and
And
that's
like
it.
what year is like how old are you?
I
Is
am
that right?
52 now.
Okay, okay. So this was 80s?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So there wasn't much going on. It was like
Mm-mm.
late 80s, I suppose.
No, and they had started really encouraging kids to be,
Super thin.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I know I felt as if my grandma was encouraging disordered eating with me at a very young age.
Yeah. Yeah. It was very encouraged. And there was lots of like the top models and stuff were all like,
Yes.
they were so ill when you
Yeah, it
look
was
at
right
them. They
before
were
the heroin
so ill.
chic era, which was worse,
Yeah.
but this was bad. Yeah, it was the rise of
Yeah.
the supermodel. Mhm.
Yes. And so my dad kind of forced me to weight restore. And I was kind of a bit more scared of him than I was of like the eating disorder, but I only did it in front of him.
Oh.
So when he wasn't like standing over me shouting at me, then I didn't eat. But I
How did your
then
body respond to the increase in food?
I think I was so disconnected from my body
Okay, that
that
makes sense.
yeah, and because the increase in food was only at certain times when my dad was around, that it wasn't that much difference.
Okay, so it didn't, like, make you really sick or anything?
Not particularly, no. I mean, it was
Okay.
very uncomfortable when I was forced to eat,
Yeah.
um, but then I left home at 16. My
Oh.
parents finally split, and my mum went off to Spain, and my dad kicked me out like 2 days after she left. And so then life got better for a while because I didn't need
Yeah.
to hide. And
Yeah.
so I was getting by. I was doing okay. And I met my now husband when I was 17.
Oh, wow.
I know. And things weren't too bad. He didn't know I had an eating disorder. He just thought I was quite thin and had issues with food. Like I was really fussy and
Yeah, you're just picky.
yeah, really
Mhm.
picky. And he came from a farming family that just food was food, you know? And
Yeah.
so things weren't too bad for a while. And I got married at 21 and had my first child at 23 and then had another child at 24.
Oh,
And
wow.
I was quite sort of stressed about my body
Mhm.
because the changes in pregnancy and stuff. I was still underweight for me,
Right.
um, but I went to this group called Weigh In and Workout, which
Probably a
introduced.
lot like Weight Watchers.
Yeah, but it had exercise as well. It was like an exercise class with a public weighing in type thing.
Oh, good. That's good.
So I went to that and I was really good at it
I
because
bet.
I was really good at losing weight.
Yeah. You were like, this is perfect. This is the structure
Yeah,
I've been looking for a little bit.
yes.
Yeah.
And at the same sort of time, my eldest son, we discovered he had a very severe egg allergy. He had
Oh,
anaphylaxis to egg.
wow.
Um, so I started to be really, really careful about any food that was in the house because it could quite literally kill him.
Yes.
It wasn't overkill, but it was overkill. I got really obsessive about it,
Mm-hmm.
and everything had to be organic. Everything had to be so-called clean eating. Um,
Yeah.
and then
It's
I was
really an
doing this.
OCD at that point.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was doing this weigh in and workout, and I was getting so much validation because every week the weight was going down and down and
Yep.
down.
And everyone's like, yes, you look
Yeah.
good. You have such
Yeah.
discipline. Tell me your
Absolutely.
secrets. I know. I know
Yeah.
they were.
They really were. And the impact exercise was having was phenomenal to me. So I did it on that day, and then I did it 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, until I was exercising 7 days a week, up to about 8 hours a day. I would get up at like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, go out for a run, and I started doing CrossFit, and it became a complete obsession, and it got so validated. And because I had no self-worth whatsoever, I
Yes.
thought I thought there was something fundamentally rotten inside me.
Yes.
I thought, like, at my core, I was evil and rotten, and there was
You're
something really
fundamentally
bad.
unlovable and you're a fundamental
Yes.
fuck up. I believe we all believe this about ourselves until we
Yeah.
heal. Like at my core, I am fundamentally unlovable and I can't do anything right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all this validation
Uh-huh.
was giving me it
It's
was
the only
giving me
validation
what?
you could feel because you couldn't create or cultivate any for yourself. I've been talking so
Absolutely.
much about this, like, and this is why I love having these conversations because it looked different for us two, but it's the same. And
Yeah.
also, I really want to highlight exercise is this approved form of abuse. Now, am I saying that
Absolutely.
all exercise is abusive? No, but I I'm not usually too shy to say this, but I guess I'm probably about to say this more explicitly than normal. I firmly believe any of those hardcore triathlon, all of those things, I think you hate yourself if you're doing those things. I don't think that any of that is born from a place of love. Pushing your body to that level of extreme isn't because you love yourself and you just want to see what you're capable of. No, you're trying to fill a hole and you don't know how. That's my belief. I can be wrong. That's fine. But that's how I feel because I haven't met anyone, haven't met an emotionally available person who is doing all that to themselves. And I'm saying this as a person who took up long distance running during my mental health crisis, one of them anyway, and I know what I was doing to myself during that time.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there's an awful lot of people who are running for their worth.
Mhm. Because at the time I was like, "Oh, I'm learning structure, I'm learning discipline, I'm learning how to stick to a plan. And look, I did what I said I was going to run 9 miles today and I did." And like a half marathon, I think you can do that pretty often and not be abusing yourself. I really do. I think you're weird for thinking that that's so fun, but that's fine. But like anything over that you're doing all the time, it's really hard on your body,
Yeah, it
really
is.
hard. But I thought I was just being disciplined. And what do you think happened when I wasn't disciplined? the
And then
amount
you
of
hated
shame
yourself
and
even
judgment I
more.
piled on
Yeah.
myself didn't help anyone.
Yeah. Also, the thing with all the validation is not only is it your only source of worth, so you keep going to try and get it, but
Mhm.
then the validation itself becomes a pressure because you have
It
to
is a
keep it up.
weight.
You have
Yes,
to keep pushing it because what if you don't get the validation next time? You have to work
exactly.
harder, push more, and the fear of failure becomes greater and greater.
Yes, I know that too. Because actually, when I signed up for the one and only marathon I've ever done, I did it because I felt pressured to by somebody because my times were getting pretty good in the half marathon. And I was at a pretty sweet spot in my training. I was weightlifting. I wasn't doing anything too crazy, but I was in a sweet spot and getting a little faster. And I felt a little pressured into doing the full. And at that time, I just didn't understand what I was, what the internal process was that led me to making the decision to say yes. So I did. During the training, I had a fall that was pretty nasty and hurt myself a little bit. And then I also kind of strained my patella and it wrecked my training in so many ways emotionally, because I had to slow down. There was all kinds of things that happened just from these two little injuries that were very minor, but still. And I still did the full marathon. And I ended up having to walk the last 6 miles because I hadn't trained properly for that last half of training because of my injuries. And I should have said, I'm switching to the half. And my ego would not. I was like, I've already told people I'm doing the full. I have to do it. I've told everyone I'm doing the
Yeah.
full.
But your
What will happen
body,
if people don't say, I can't believe you're going to do the full marathon? What will happen?
your body was trying to communicate with you with those injuries. To say she was
Mhm.
saying enough. I
Mhm.
don't want to do this. Stop pushing me.
Yeah, and the fact that I would practically shit my pants anytime I ran over 15 miles was a good signal that it wasn't it wasn't
Yeah.
this isn't for me. Like literally I could not take in a single ounce of nutrition that did not leave me like crying looking for a porta potty after 15 miles every time. That's one of the reasons the pool didn't go well because I had to stop to use the bathroom twice and my legs started stiffening up. I just couldn't do it. I was like, okay, we're done. We're done. We're going to walk now. I can't do it.
Yeah.
But it's that lack of self-worth and the things you will do for the external validation is wild because I have done a lot of things for that very thing. And even if it's not even the exercise, just the losing weight, the second you start getting all that attention when you walk in a room, my thought then became if I was bloated or just put on a few pounds, that's the first thing they notice too. Everyone's going to see I've gained weight. Now I'm isolating.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really hard to navigate, isn't it? Because the whole thing is coming from a place of, I hate myself.
I hate
I
myself.
hate who I am.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I'm
Yeah,
not
I'm
good
too
enough.
much and I'm not enough.
And at some, there's such a risk that people are going to see that. People are going
Yeah.
to see the real me and then they're all going to hate me and reject me.
Yes. Yeah. I had to learn that. At first, I had to learn that I was wearing a bunch of masks, but I also had to learn that I was so afraid of rejection that I had to use the mask because if they rejected the mask, that hurt, but it could never hurt
It
as bad
wasn't
as
you.
rejecting me, you know?
Yes. Yeah. So I was doing all this exercise and I was trying to be the perfect mum, having the perfect food. I would cook and bake all the time and feed people all the time. And then I was so busy serving everybody that nobody ever noticed that I didn't eat. And I was just, I was people pleasing every moment of every day. I was trying to make sure everything was perfect all the time. I didn't realize that you couldn't be perfect. I just thought I was crap at it. So I
Yep.
just kept trying harder and harder and harder. And life just kind of continued in this. I say life continued. My existence continued in this numb, anxious, striving, exhausting state for decades until COVID,
Mm.
randomly, when the world stopped and my dad died. And all of the feelings that I'd never been allowed to feel started coming up and started swirling around. And I had no idea how to process a feeling, an emotion.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hadn't done it. I had no clue. And so I was like, okay, I'll just restrict some more. I'll eat less. So I took up intermittent fasting. I was bloody good at that, I can tell you.
Friend,
Well,
did it. Did it. That kicked off
yeah,
some
nailed
real
that.
disordered eating for me. Like, it got to where, because I was like, well, if my window closes before I got a chance to eat, I guess I don't eat today. Did that a lot.
Yeah. So then I also became keto, so I could cut out some more entire
Same.
food groups.
Yeah, me too. Yep.
And then I made the fasting not just daily fasting. I would do these long fasts, like week long, fortnight long.
Hmm.
And
I never did that, but I've seen lots of people, and I'm like, oh, keep telling yourself that that's not anorexia.
yeah,
Your water
but
fast that's giving your brain fuel. Yeah, okay.
it didn't make the feelings go. They were still swirling around and around. And I started to feel like I was completely unraveling. Like
Yes.
I didn't know what to do with myself. I felt like I was desperately trying to cling on to friends, trying to exercise more and more, trying to eat less and less and less, and none of it was working. And I got to the
Yeah.
point where I didn't realize it was mostly down to the malnutrition, but I got to the point where I truly, truly believed that I was such a burden and that everybody would be better off without me.
Yeah.
So I have anaphylaxis to gin randomly, the
Wow.
alcohol gin, yeah,
Yeah.
really random. And so I bought a bottle of gin knowing that it would kill me pretty quickly. It felt like a really clean and easy option. And I took it I don't know why, I took it to the woods, the local forest. I think it was because I didn't want my children to find me.
Yeah.
Um, and I sat down on a log and I opened the bottle of gin. And I truly, truly believed that I was doing what was best for everybody.
I know that. Yeah. This is exactly where I ended up. I made a plan. Thankfully, I had to make a date kind of far away, but that was exactly what you're describing. There was no guilt over it because I believed it was what everyone needed. It was what was
Yeah,
best for. I was causing more harm by existing than not. Like, I had to
yeah,
go because my presence was a harm.
yeah. And I truly, truly believed that. And so I sat down on that log and I opened the bottle. And as I brought it up to my mouth, I heard my boys' voices in my head. And it wasn't, oh, don't do this, or we need you. They were angry. They were really angry. These voices in my head was, don't you fucking dare. How fucking dare you leave this legacy for us? Don't you realize this
Wow.
is the most selfish move you've ever made? And it, there was so much anger and rage and fury in these voices in my head
Wow.
that I just tipped the gin on the ground.
Wow.
And I went home and I went to my husband and I just said, I need to talk to you. I need you to listen and you cannot fix me and I don't want you to try. And he was like, whoa. And I cried for the first time in 40 years.
Wow.
And that was the day I started recovery, which has
Wow.
been a long and emotional process with lots
Yeah.
and lots of very deep inner work.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's kind of what
Yeah.
led up to it all.
Wow. I can't believe how similar our journeys have been. But I love that too, because this is kind of what I'm trying to show is that this experience in so many ways is universal, and
I think so.
we can learn so much from each other, and especially with you. I mean, you're saying so much of the stuff that I had to discover over the last 2 years, and you believe the things that your brain is telling you so hardcore. I mean, it feels so true. Like, I was just
Yeah,
telling someone last night in a session, like, listen, this is a key struggle in your life that it is hard for you to speak truth. Like, whether it's just some small thing in your life or feeling really passionate about something, it's not going to register to you, oh, I have trouble being vulnerable. It's going to feel like, oh, I'm mad at this person, so I won't tell them. Like, your brain's really good at making you believe that there's
yeah,
legitimate reasons to not share the truth. So you have to understand you're going to have to question that maybe forever. Like, why? What's my motivation here? What am I trying to protect myself from? That's because that's what I've really had to learn was like, honey, that wasn't true. You just thought it was true. Even in terms of like understanding that I too am avoidant, which was hard. I think we all are because we all want to avoid pain, right? But
absolutely.
we have
We are
these
wired
sweet
to
little
avoid
people.
pain.
Yes, we all want to avoid pain. And I think that I was seeing all these like and I'm a therapist, so I know about attachment styles, but I've always leaned very anxious. If you look at me in relationships, I'm the chaser. I'm, begging you to validate me and make me whole and, choose me and make me feel special. So it was really easy to see my anxious tendencies. Good Lord, all the ways I have avoided intimacy, pain, anything. It took me a while to understand that ick feeling I got like with certain people, like where it was like, ew, I have the ick, that it was literally just me protecting myself from intimacy and vulnerability. That's it. And my not enough narrative is triggered. Like someone is putting a little too much pressure on me to show up for them in a way that feels scary for me, not inappropriately. But like for me, it triggers a vulnerability because I'm like, oh my God, I might not be enough to meet that need. And s- and I think we're all doing some form of that too. That's why we are all so dismissive. It's why people don't know how to hold someone in grief because
Yeah,
it brings up stuff in them that they don't know how to hold. So they have to dismiss you to dismiss themselves. And it's a cycle that we just keep repeating over and over and over. And yet our brains will be like, they need to move on or they need to get over it or whatever the thing that your brain is telling you that's making you dismiss your feelings. We do this in our everyday lives, and there's so much that just that disconnection from our body can create because your body is where all of that is processed. So when you said that earlier, like, oh, I was so disconnected from my body at that point, like, oh, true, true. Like, yeah, okay, that makes sense to me. Like, it's so easy to do the things that are on autopilot because you're like, oh,
we're
well,
literally we're taught as young children how to not listen to our bodies.
mm-hmm,
We're taught that you must eat your dinner if you want to have pudding, or you can't leave the table, or now it is time to eat rather than you're hungry, or you've had enough to eat. You don't get, as a young child, so few young children get to learn through listening to their own bodies.
mm-hmm,
And you probably look at most adults now and they know when they're thirsty and they will have a drink. And they know when they need the toilet because their body will tell them and they will follow it. But they do not believe they can trust their body to tell them that they're hungry or that they're full because
right.
we become so disconnected that we don't hear it anymore. We're taught not to. And
I'm still struggling. I was just talking to my son about this last night. Um, there are times when it's easy for me to register hungry. Like I know I'm hungry right now, but last night it had been about 3 hours since I ate and I was feeling like a burning in my stomach. And I was like, this is a sensation that I can't ever tell if it's like a reflux or if I'm hungry. Like it has to hit me in a very certain way for me to be able to register hunger.
Mhm.
Except for I kind of know when the switch happens in the morning because I don't wake up hungry. I've kind of never been a breakfast lover. I love breakfast food, but I don't like to eat when I first wake up. which is how I end up waiting way too long to eat because then I get busy and I am like, crap, I forgot to eat. But I have trouble with that, like really knowing, except for like physical stuff, like, oh, I'm if I'm really agitated, I know I'm hungry. But like it's hard for me to register that specific signal to my body because I have done so much to ignore it or
Yeah,
even ignore the signal that I was full.
yeah, and override it. And
Mhm.
we are taught that as young children, and it's heartbreaking because diets don't work.
Mm-mm.
Our body has a set point that it is at its happiest at. It doesn't like to go below, it doesn't like to go above. Our set point is it's a range of about, you work in pounds, don't you? Probably of about 10 pounds.
Yeah.
And anywhere within that is where you are at your optimum health. But if you go above it, your body wants you to go back down. If you go below it, your body wants you to go back up. So you go on a diet, sure, you'll lose weight. But unless you have the genetics for anorexia, at some point you're going to come off that diet
Mhm.
and the weight will come back on, but your body didn't feel safe because it felt like it was in a famine. So
Yep.
it will raise your set point. So you will
Yeah.
gain it back plus a little bit for your body to feel safe. And the next time you go on a diet, you lose it, you gain it back plus a little bit. And this is why people that yo-yo diet just tend to get bigger over time because their body doesn't feel safe.
Yeah, that's
And
certainly been my experience.
and when we restrict a food, when we make it bad, then we want it more and more and more.
Yes.
Whereas
Well,
if you
because
just put
honestly, like,
down chocolate,
because of how bad I was during the last period of disordered eating, which lasted probably a a year, um, I whenever because I started taking phentermine, a diet pill, which I really wasn't taking for the appetite suppression. I was taking it for the energy, but of course, the natural byproduct of that is appetite suppression. And so I leaned in. I was like, yeah, we can lose some weight with this. And then, oh, boy, you give me a little, I'm gonna take a lot. And I was also literally in a mental health crisis. So I was reaching for any sort of control in my life, you know? Um, but once I stopped taking that and really was like, okay, whatever. It's been about 2 years and I've gained so much weight and the last I had my A1C checked, it was really not good. So I know having gained more, quite a bit more than what I was at when that happened, that it's really not good. And I know that I need to eat better and get my A1C better, but the idea of restarting that whole thing and having to focus on food just I just can't even imagine it. Like because
yeah, it's
I can
exhausting.
naturally make better choices if I don't care, but the second you put some sort of restriction around what I can eat, I'm going to bust hell wide open to go eat that.
This probably sounds really, really strange, but I, through my own healing, through how I feel about myself now, through how I eat now, through how I move my body now, and through how I coach now, I truly believe that, well, number one, your body's the least interesting thing about you. And number two is that we put so much, well, society puts so much worth in how we appear, in what we weigh, in the number of our clothes size, which, let's face it, we don't actually even know. I don't know what number clothes size you're in. You don't know what number clothes size I'm in. It
Right.
doesn't mean anything, but we're taught to believe it means so much. Actually, when you start going within, start giving yourself validation, start giving yourself the things you've always needed. And I'm talking about self-acceptance and self-love, and you can't go from self-hate to self-love in one jump. It doesn't
Right.
work,
Right.
because it just feels false. It feels toxic, and it
Right.
doesn't work. But you can stop beating up on yourself. You can
Mhm.
stop being mean, and you can bring it to a level of neutrality, and then you can start meeting your own needs. Like when you're tired, you are actually allowed to sit down and rest. When you're hungry, even if it's not a mealtime, you are actually allowed something to eat. When you're procrastinating and you can't be asked to get out of bed and you know that you've got things to do and you will feel so much better, you can give yourself a loving kick up the arse to say, come on, sweetheart. Yeah, I know. It's comfy in here, but we're getting up and we're doing it, and then we'll feel great. And you can start treating yourself as your own best friend. And when you love who you are, you want to look after yourself. You
Yeah.
don't want to eat the stuff you know is going to make your body feel really, really sluggish. Yeah, of course,
Mhm.
sometimes you'll have a pizza, sometimes you'll have a burger, and that's fine. But when you care about who you are, you want to look after yourself. Just like when you have a child, you want to look after them.
Mhm.
And so the healing, it's not the next diet. It's not any of that external stuff. It's not being more perfect, wearing the right clothes. It's none of that. It's going within and it's starting to look after that little girl inside you that never thought she was worth anything.
Yeah. I can certainly see the framing being so different. And I think fear is kind of what's been framing just the idea well, I think for one, just the pressure of, okay, well, you're about to be diabetic if you're not already, like the pressure of that is already a lot. But then also just overthinking like what it needs to look like and whatever. But you're right. To me, because I totally understand what you're saying, it's like, God, I'm making this way too hard. That it's actually really simple. It's just each little choice that you make it from
Yeah,
a place of love for yourself. And it doesn't have to look
absolutely.
the way anybody else says it has to look. It's like, what do I need right now? Like, what is going to be the
Yeah,
best thing for me right now?
yeah, absolutely. And sometimes that will be what the best thing for me right now is a big bar of chocolate and wallowing in self-pity for half an hour because I've
Mhm.
had a really shit day and this is just what I need to do. I need to feel these feelings and I need to feel sorry for myself. And that's okay. And then it might be saying, okay, you've had your half an hour now, sweetheart. Let's get up. Let's have a shower. Let's go outside and look at the trees.
Mhm. Yeah, I really like the idea of because when you said look after yourself like you're your own best friend, it's not like I don't think about things like that, but that's not the words I would use, and it really just it brings a certain energy, and it's like it is so much easier for me to take care of someone else in the
Yeah.
way I need to take care of myself, and that because I've been working on being like my own best mother and like starting to very much coddle myself, nurture myself in a way that has never really happened. And it just provides so much less resistance to so many things. And so I'm
Yeah.
really like I've been doing that, but I think maybe now like my inner child is developing and so she could do with more of like a best friend instead of this mommy that I never had. It's like I have a mom now and now I need a best friend that's going to say the things that need to be said. Like my mom can be very loving and supportive inside me and be like, "Hey, like I can hold you in whatever you need to be held in." Whereas my best friend's gonna be like, "I'm with you, but let's try this too."
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. This is hard and it feels shit. And lying here eating chocolate isn't going to make it any better. Come on, we need to do something.
Mhm. Don't you I'm I'm needing you to say you agree. Don't agree just because. But okay, because I'm thinking about this with my son. Um, because I've gotten to where like I'm not trying to do any of that best friend type stuff. Like I'm just giving him the mom we all need. Like because I ask myself, what do I need when I'm feeling
Yeah.
this? And I need 100% attendance and attunement. Like, you're not going to try to make me see it differently. You're going to sit and just hold this, have the capacity with me to sit here and just let me feel all of this. So I have backed off any advice, because I felt like that could feel dismissive too. So like, I've just been like, what do you need? I just want to nurture the shit out of you, because I was a very emotionally unavailable mom, Um, but I listened to the way he and his best friend talk to each other, and they're loud. Like, he doesn't feel dismissed by her when she says, yes, and. Whereas when mom says yes, and, it can feel like, Mom, I just want you to hold me. Why do you need to give me the and? You know what I mean? So that's why, like, I don't know. For me, I kind of do think my little child is like becoming an adolescent inside me, who's like, okay, yeah, because I really do feel so much more nurtured and safe and just cozy inside myself than I
Mhm.
ever have. Even over through the last 2 years, which I've grown exponentially. But like, well, since my son died, I've had to learn, like, what am I needing? Because it just grief, just, this, but it shines a light on all the shit that was already there, that and
Yeah.
I thought I knew everything that was there because I've been working on myself, but it really highlighted some things, and I was like, oh, interesting. And I didn't need to. It wasn't like, let's fix it, but it was like, if I'm going to survive this, I have to take care of myself in every
Yeah.
way that I need to be taken care of. And I can't rely on other people to do it. But I think me noticing, oh, like, it is helpful if I can just, like, be a sack of bones to my husband and be like, can you come tuck me in bed and bring me ice water? And like, that's what I'm needing right now, is to be nurtured in this specific way. That showed me that's an area I really need to be showing up for myself. I need to make sure my self-talk is very mothering and nurturing, but I can have room for both. And my best friend needs to be a part of this equation too. So, man, I just love the way you
Yeah.
frame that.
Well, it's important, isn't it? Because, yeah, self-love is hugely important, and it might be the gentle stuff. It might be it's okay, sweetheart. I've got you. You can cry. This is really hard. And just being with yourself in that moment. But self-care is also the tough stuff. It's
Yeah.
if you don't clean your teeth now, you're going to have cavities in the
Mm-hmm.
future. So you have to look after that part of you now. You have to look after who you are inside now as well.
Mm-hmm.
And where you give yourself a loving kick up the arse. And this isn't like it used to be when I was in the eating disorder, like, oh, you stupid fucking bitch, you're useless. Why can't you do anything right?
Right, right,
Not that.
right. Yeah.
It's not that. It's,
I think you can gently say it, like,
right.
exactly how you said it. It's like, I know we'd rather lay in this bed. You're right. And
Yeah.
that resonated hardcore with me. Like, yes, we would, and that's fine. You're allowed to feel like you'd rather stay in this bed,
Yeah.
but we do need to do these things. So how can we get
Yeah.
ourselves to do that? But I think the difference is between the shaming yourself and the holding both perspectives, because that's truly what it is. In essence, you're holding the masculine and the feminine at the same time. But
Yes.
I think there's resistance on one end, and on the other, it's just like, I don't fucking want to, and yet I'm going to, which
Yeah.
I'm doing really well on for so many things. And I think that's part of the reason that I haven't addressed, like, my health stuff and needing to exercise more, needing to eat better, whatever, because, well, I it hasn't even, like, what is today? I think tomorrow is 5 months since we lost my son. So I'm like, I'm allowed to do whatever the hell I want right now. So, like, that's
Absolutely.
on the back burner, but I'm feeling the stir about it. So this is actually a very beautifully well-timed conversation, but um I've just been kind of trying to conceptualize what it would look like before I even attempted to make changes again, because I know that I didn't have the first clue. Yes, I've seen a nutritionist in the past. I know what all they say. I know
You
all the
know what you
things.
need to do.
But right, but like, it was like, oh, well, I want to do this in a emotionally healthy way, not just like I'm
Yeah.
eating healthy. I wanted to do it in a way
Yeah.
that was true and honored
So
to
if you
me.
wanted, let's say, the burger and chips, fries, chips, fries are chips here, and
Yes.
chips for you are crisps here. Um, so if you wanted the burger and fries, that's fine. Have the burger and fries and maybe have some salad with it. If you know you need to move a little because you've been sat on the sofa working or sat down working all day and your body's feeling stiff and it doesn't feel great and you know that you would feel better having gone for a walk, go for something short. Go to sit down by that lake that you really like to go and sit and watch the birds or whatever. It doesn't have to be big things. It can be small
Hmm.
things, and you can reward yourself for doing them and you can celebrate yourself for doing them. And the more you reward and celebrate yourself, our brains love reward, like kids with sticker charts. We love it. And it feels weird to reward yourself, doesn't it? It feels weird to go,
Yeah.
yeah, we nailed it. But that weird thing, it starts getting easier as you go along. And so the more we reward ourselves, the more our brain's like, oh, yeah, this is actually what she wants. She's pleased with
Yeah.
this. We walked for 10 minutes and she's pleased with herself. It must be what she wants. So I'm not going to give so much resistance next time.
Yeah. Oh, that makes it. Yeah, because you're building the capacity. This makes so
Yeah.
much sense. And see, I was doing these things like for a couple of months right before my son died. And then when he died, it was like,
But your world
I
got
just
turned
I
upside
gotta
down.
survive
So
right now. But
yeah,
yeah, but it feels good to know I was on the right track because that's what I had said was like I said we don't have to take anything away. Don't take any foods
no, you
off the
don't need
table.
to.
We start adding in the things that feel really good to eat. Like
Yeah.
I started eating bean salads because I like the benefits that I felt from it and I like the taste of it and that was great. And I started having other salads and more fruit. Like I was just like, let's add in the stuff and I was doing really well. Like I was having a couple of months of like going to the gym a few times a week, walking in the neighborhood, all kinds of stuff. So good. Okay. And that didn't feel overwhelming at all.
No,
Like that it once I started it was like okay, great. But I think there's this part of me and I think you'll know what I mean, but sometimes it's so easy to think, well, that's not going to be enough. So why would I even start? Because that won't be enough.
but it's a step, isn't it? And we can only ever do anything one step at a time.
Hmm.
The climbing Mount Everest, you only do it one step at a time. You can't
Yeah.
do anything more than one step at a time. So when it's coming from like, I should do this, I should eat that, I shouldn't
Mhm.
eat that, I should exercise like this, that's a judgment and there's shame involved.
Yes.
But when it's coming from, I want to care for myself, and I know that because my body feels stiff, because I've been sitting all day behind this damn computer, I know that I will feel better if I do some stretching for 5 minutes. So
Mhm.
even though that feels like effort right now, maybe I'll just do it for 3 minutes because my body will feel better. So I'm going to do that for myself.
Yeah. I love that. And
And
again, it's more present. It doesn't
yeah,
have to be some prescribed system for life. It's really about like what I need in this moment. Yes, you can have some guidelines for like I go to the gym these 2 days a week or whatever, however people want to do it, but I don't think it has to be as structured as we think that it has to be. Like you can veer off plan.
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I gave up exercise completely for over a year to try and heal my relationship with exercise because
Wow.
it was so disordered.
Yes.
And now I do go to the gym. I don't go to the same gym I used to go to, and I don't do the really hardcore stuff, but I bloody love lifting heavy shit. It makes me
That's
feel
what
so
I wanna go back
digested.
to, yes. I was really working on getting, like, 'cause I was seeing progress, like, I was getting to where I could bench 50 pounds, and I was so like, it felt so good, you know?
Yeah.
Because I was just like, "I wanna build muscle, I wanna feel strong," like, I don't give a fuck about losing weight. I know that the more muscle I build, the better my pancreas is gonna work, so I was like, "Hey, win-win," like, that's going to help attack my A1C, so
Yeah,
great.
so that's coming from a place of self-care. But I honestly think that the most health problems people have are coming from the stress hormones that are flooding through our bodies,
Oh, yeah, I agree.
coming from the negative self-talk. I mean, if you imagine you were given an alien who had never lived on Earth and was like a completely new being, and you treated that alien like you treat yourself, what outlook on life do you expect that alien to have? Now, my alien would have been a very sick alien indeed. It would
Mhm.
have been, it would have hated itself. It would have thought it was just the worst thing, not even have the title of person. It
Yeah,
was just scum, because that's how I treated myself.
yeah.
But now I know I'm good enough. And I
Mhm,
know that the reason I'm good enough is because I'm a human being, and that's the only qualification needed.
mhm.
I'm not better than anybody. I'm not worse than anybody. But I treat myself with the love and respect that I treat everyone else with now. And
Yeah.
my alien would be a happy little alien now.
I'm picturing our aliens, I think they're so sweet. We have sweet little aliens.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Man, I would love to have you back on sometime soon, but
Well,
I've kept you a little long today. Tell us where we can find you. I know you have a podcast. What is the name of
I
that?
do. So the podcast, it's for eating disorder recovery, and it's called Fly to Freedom.
Fly to Freedom, that's right.
Yeah. And I'm also on Instagram as just Julia Trehane, my name, and my website is Julia Trehane. And I've just launched an app actually this week, and it's a companion app it's an AI powered one, and it's got journaling, it's got lots of self-love practice in it, it's got lots of recovery practice in it. So yeah, anyone that's interested in that, just pop to my website and it's on there.
Okay, and I'll make sure check the show notes because I will make sure all your links are in there and stuff. But I have loved having you. I really appreciate
It's been a
you
great
and your
conversation.
willingness. Good. I'm glad you liked it. Okay, I'm going to press stop if you'll hang out for 1 sec.
Sure.
Thanks for coming to Emotionally Unavailable. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, and share. Emotionally Unavailable. All right, that's it from me. So make sure that you check out the show notes for links. And until next time, let's all just keep swimming.
INDEPE and cut.
Ready or not, summer is coming, and Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance is on now. Right now through May 25th, get up to 70% off everything home at Wayfair. Plus, score amazing doorbuster deals all sale long and surprise flash deals on Memorial Day. We're talking thousands of products at every style and budget. Now is the time to save big on must-haves for your patio, backyard, and beyond. These savings won't last, so don't wait. Shop Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance now through May 25th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
When was the last time you felt in control of your business finances? Expenses tracked, invoices sent, taxes ready. That's where Found comes in. Found brings your banking, bookkeeping, invoicing, and taxes together in one simple app. Manage expenses, invoice clients, send payments, and prep for tax time right where you bank. Join the hundreds of thousands who have already streamlined their finances with Found. Open a Found account for free at found.com. That's FOUND.com. Found is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services provided by Lead Bank, member FDIC.